Welcome to Streaming News Network, where we deliver balanced reporting with the facts that matter. Sunday edition by Claude McDaniel. Please like and subscribe.
This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. United States intelligence officials have identified California-born Juan Carlos Valencia as the new leader of Mexico's Jalisco New Generation Cartel, one of the country's most violent criminal organizations. The leadership change follows the reported death of his stepfather, Nemesio Oseguera, during a Mexican military anti-drug operation earlier this year. Valencia, age 41, was born in Santa Ana, California, and has been under indictment in Washington, District of Columbia, since October 2020 on drug trafficking and weapons charges. A $5 million United States reward for information leading to his capture remains in effect. His American citizenship presents legal and diplomatic challenges for any effort to bring him to justice. Former United States law enforcement officials say American agencies would likely continue providing intelligence while allowing Mexican authorities to conduct any enforcement operations on Mexican territory, respecting that nation's sovereignty. Valencia comes from a family with deep ties to organized crime. Investigators say he rose through the cartel's armed wing before assuming leadership after the recent arrest of another senior figure. Some Mexican security analysts have also raised questions about whether internal rivalries may have played a role in the leadership transition, though no evidence has publicly confirmed those claims. Authorities in both countries continue efforts to dismantle the powerful criminal organization. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Academy Award-winning actress Angelina Jolie is reportedly preparing to begin a new chapter in her life, but one major hurdle is slowing those plans. According to published reports, Jolie hopes to spend much more of her time in Cambodia after her youngest children, twins Knox and Vivian, turn 18. Reports say she has long expressed a desire to leave Los Angeles once all of her children were legal adults, while continuing to maintain a work base in New York City. However, her historic Los Feliz estate remains on the market after being listed earlier this year for nearly $30 million. Real estate sources say the slower Southern California housing market has delayed a sale, leaving one piece of unfinished business before she fully moves on. Jolie purchased the estate in 2017 following her separation from actor Brad Pitt. The property, originally built in 1913, was once owned by legendary filmmaker Cecil B. DeMille and features 6 bedrooms, extensive grounds, and several guest buildings. Although the home has yet to sell, reports indicate Jolie has the financial flexibility to relocate whenever she chooses. She has previously said Cambodia feels like home and has expressed her intention to spend significant time there while remaining active in New York for professional commitments. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. South African football is mourning the loss of national team midfielder Jayden Adams, who has died at the age of 25, only weeks after representing his country in the 2026 Fédération Internationale de Football Association World Cup. Authorities in Cape Town confirmed that Adams was found deceased on Saturday, and an investigation has been opened. Officials have not released a cause of death. A native of Cape Town, Adams rose through the youth academy of Stellenbosch Football Club before becoming a professional standout with Mamelodi Sundowns and earning a regular place on South Africa's national team. He played a key role in South Africa's historic World Cup campaign, appearing in all 3 group stage matches as the team advanced beyond the group stage for the first time in the men's program's history before being eliminated in the round of 32. During the tournament, Adams also endured a personal tragedy after the death of his grandmother, a loss that teammates and football officials said he carried with remarkable strength. Tributes have poured in from across the football world, including messages from South African government leaders, the South African Football Association, Fédération Internationale de Football Association President Gianni Infantino, teammates, and supporters, all remembering Adams for his talent, humility, and dedication to the game. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. New York City police are investigating the death of a 16-month-old girl who was found unresponsive inside a room at the Bel Nord Hotel on Manhattan's Upper West Side. Officers responded shortly before 1 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, where they discovered the child deceased inside what police described as an apartment-style unit. Investigators reported there were no visible signs of trauma on the child's body. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner is conducting an examination to determine the exact cause and manner of death. The Bel Nord Hotel previously operated as one of New York City's emergency shelters for migrant families with children under a contract that ended on June 30. Officials have not confirmed whether families participating in that program were still living at the property at the time of the incident. Authorities have released few additional details, and no arrests have been announced. Police say the investigation remains active as detectives work to determine the circumstances surrounding the child's death. Streaming News Network will continue to follow the investigation and provide updates as more information becomes available. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. A Wisconsin man says he spent nearly 2 months unable to access approximately $70,000 in Social Security benefits he had saved, delaying the purchase of his new home. Thomas Copen, of Palmyra, Wisconsin, said the money was held on a Direct Express prepaid debit card, a program used by the federal government to distribute Social Security and other benefit payments. When he attempted to transfer the funds to complete a home purchase, the transaction repeatedly failed. Copen and his family say they contacted Direct Express, the Social Security Administration, and the Bureau of the Fiscal Service numerous times but were unable to resolve the problem. They considered withdrawing the money through automated teller machines, but daily withdrawal limits would have made that process take weeks. After contacting a local television station's consumer investigation team, the issue was finally resolved. Officials later determined the transfer failed because the receiving bank account number required a leading zero that had not been included during the transaction. Fifth Third Bank, which administers the Direct Express program, said security and fraud prevention measures are important and confirmed the customer's issue had been successfully resolved. The case highlights how even a small technical error can leave benefit recipients temporarily unable to access their own funds. This is Claude McDaniel of Streaming News Network. The Trump administration has issued subpoenas to 4 New York Times reporters as part of a federal investigation into leaked information concerning security features aboard a Boeing aircraft donated by the government of Qatar for presidential use as Air Force One. According to the newspaper, federal agents delivered the subpoenas to several reporters at their homes on Friday. The action followed reports that President Donald Trump returned from Turkey aboard an older Air Force One aircraft because the newer jet had not yet received all of the advanced defensive systems found on the existing presidential aircraft. The New York Times criticized the subpoenas, calling them an attempt to intimidate journalists and discourage reporting on matters of public interest. The Department of Justice defended the investigation, stating that the focus is on identifying individuals who may have improperly disclosed classified information, not on prosecuting members of the news media. The case comes amid broader efforts by the administration to investigate unauthorized disclosures of sensitive national security information. Similar subpoenas involving reporters from other major news organizations have reportedly been issued in recent months, though some were later withdrawn. The investigation continues, and no charges have been announced against any of the journalists involved. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. A former and Arundel County, Maryland, police officer has been sentenced to probation for his role in a multi-year insurance fraud scheme involving staged vehicle thefts and false police reports. Federal prosecutors say 32-year-old Jaron Earl Taylor received 3 years of probation after pleading guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud. He will spend the first 5 months under house arrest and has been ordered to pay more than $38,670 in restitution to the United Services Automobile Association. Investigators say the scheme operated between 2018 and 2020 and involved several current and former law enforcement officers. Prosecutors allege the participants falsely reported vehicles as stolen or destroyed in order to collect insurance payouts or avoid outstanding loan payments. According to court records, Taylor and another former officer staged the theft of a Chevrolet Tahoe, submitted a false police report, and received an insurance payment after hiding the stripped vehicle. Federal authorities say additional incidents involved falsified theft reports, vandalized vehicles, and attempts to conceal automobiles by changing license plates. In one case, an insurance claim was denied after investigators determined the report was fraudulent. Several other individuals have either pleaded guilty or been convicted, while sentencing for another former officer is scheduled for next month. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Federal investigators are working to determine what caused a private aircraft to crash in rural Illinois, killing a father and his son as they returned home from a Major League Baseball game. Authorities identified the victims as 48-year-old pilot Jimmy Don Lewis and his 22-year-old son, Braden Ty Lewis. The pair had attended a St. Louis Cardinals game before departing from St. Louis Regional Airport on a flight to Siloam Springs Municipal Airport in Arkansas. According to investigators, the Beechcraft Baron 55 departed into an area where severe weather was developing. Flight tracking data indicates the aircraft began turning, possibly in an effort to avoid the storm, before entering what officials described as a descending spiral. Radar contact was then lost. Emergency crews launched a search during the early morning hours, but heavy rain, low clouds, and poor visibility delayed efforts. An air medical helicopter later located the wreckage in a wooded area near a field in Monroe County, Illinois. The Federal Aviation Administration and the National Transportation Safety Board are leading the investigation into the cause of the crash. Local officials expressed their condolences to the Lewis family and praised the coordinated response of emergency personnel who assisted in the recovery operation. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Josh Duggar has been transferred to a federal correctional institution in Lisbon, Ohio, marking the latest in a series of moves within the federal prison system. The former reality television personality is now being housed at Federal Correctional Institution Elkton after a temporary stay at the Federal Transfer Center in Oklahoma City. Before that, he had been incarcerated at federal facilities in Fort Worth and Seagoville, Texas. According to his attorney, the transfer will make in-person visits much more difficult for Duggar's wife, Anna, and their 7 children, who live in Arkansas. The trip to the Ohio facility is more than 850 miles and can take over 13 hours by car. His attorney also claims the recent transfers have been punitive in nature, alleging they followed complaints that correctional officers improperly handled Duggar's legal mail while he was incarcerated at a previous facility. Federal prison officials have not publicly responded to those allegations. Despite the distance, Duggar's attorney says the family intends to continue visiting when possible and will remain in contact through telephone calls. Duggar became widely known through the reality television series 19 Kids and Counting, which chronicled the lives of the Duggar family.
Thank you for listening to Streaming News Network videos and our audio reports. Please like and subscribe to our news channel.